All right, let's do a roll call.
Okay. All right, Bill Henderson,
Here.
Nino Petrocelli. I know Nino's here.
He's on mute.
Nino, unmute. Hang on, people. It will not take my control. I can't get him to unmute. He's here. I'm going to keep rolling here. Bruce Gallarducci,
Here.
Joe Colosimo. He's muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, Nino. Thank you. Joe's muted. For some reason, my controls, it won't let me to unmute him. There he is.
I've
Hi, Joe.
unmuted 4 times.
There you go. Joe Colosimo,
Yeah, I'm here.
Joe Verducci, not here. Virginia Schneider,
Here.
Nick Shashowski,
Here.
Betty Copeland,
Here.
Tom McDermott,
Here.
Kevin Brett,
Here.
Cheryl Glorick here, Chad King,
Here.
Ray Costain,
Here.
Dan Miller.
Here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cheryl. I appreciate that. Let me just ask that if you're not speaking, to mute your phone, because there is a little bit of feedback I'm hearing from someone. Noise. So if you won't be speaking, then go ahead and mute your phone until you will be. So let's start with comments from the floor. Has anyone registered to speak, Cheryl?
We don't have anyone registered, but I do see some folks here that will want to talk. I know one is Bob Fryer. He is here. Another gentleman, I'm not sure his name. It doesn't ring up.
Let's start with Bob Fryer.
All right.
Oh, hi. Thank you again very much, Bill. Excuse me. The last time, I can't remember if it was before the Planning Commission or Council a week or so, a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned that there was legislation going to the U.S. Congress to set aside $1 trillion to rebuild roads and bridges throughout the country. The past week, that cost estimate has gone up to $3 trillion, believe it or not. The Democratic officials in the House of Representatives were willing to raise it to that extent. My point is the road network part of Bridgeville's comprehensive plan that the Planning Commission and the Borough Council are working on, it has to be completed in 90 days, not 2 years, and submitted to PennDOT, the County Road Department, and the Southwestern Pennsylvania Planning Commission, so we can be one of the communities that are first in line. Also, as part of that abbreviated sort of a proposal, the cost estimates must be included with what seems to be the 3 main sections of the comprehensive plan that's designed to solve Bridgeville's longstanding traffic congestion problem. Number 1 would be extending Shady Avenue 200 yards to create the 2 one-way streets and the second main street for Bridgeville. The second would be adding 2 lanes to the Washington Avenue flow, excuse me, from the Bower Hill Road intersection north to Collier Township. And the third would be separating the Bower Hill Road motorist traffic flow onto 2 two-lane one-way streets. As of course we all know, that would be using Baldwin Street and Bower Hill Road. I don't know if you've thought that through much, but right now there's 14,000 cars a day using Bower Hill Road. Actually, it's more than that. It's probably 16. But if by splitting that flow of consumer motorists you'd have 7,000 consumer motorists a day driving past the commercial property sites on Baldwin Street. The possibilities are unlimited. Yeah, I want to ask, is our engineer at the meeting?
Yeah, he's here.
Okay. Well, I wasn't sure. I was wondering, Ken, has Lennon Smith done much road widening projects? Are you into that stuff, or is the borough considering someone else to do the road network part of the comprehensive plan?
No, we do a tremendous amount of that type of work.
Okay.
If requested, we will provide that.
Yeah, okay. The only thing I was going to suggest, a brief, maybe temporary thing, was when about 2 years ago, when I was trying to get the left turn stacking lane on Washington Avenue included, going on to Chartier Street, included in the 7-lane bridge project. The PennDOT and others were throwing around cost estimates that would cost $1 million more just to put in a 3-car left turn stacking lane. And I went to, I guess someone that Ken, that Northeast Paving Company, and I forget the gentleman's name over there. His name was George. But to make a long story short, his cost estimates were 1/3 of PennDOT's $1 million cost estimates, and I think his cost estimates were accurate. But I was just going to suggest that if that might help you get some general information, maybe he'd give us some general cost estimates. But since Lennon Smith is into that stuff as well, I guess that's the way you should do it. But anyway, I just want to recommend again. I've heard from the Planning Commission, not necessarily the council, but I've heard over the past couple of months that some of the guys are talking about it taking 2 years to complete the plan. You please don't even think that way. You got to try to get some simplified offer to done in 90 days and present it to and as you know, it's got to be a plan that solves the traffic congestion problem for Bridgeville, Collier, South Fayette, and Upper St. Clair. And I think this is a perfect time to do that stuff. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. I appreciate it, man. Daniel.
Yes.
Looks like okay, go ahead. State your name and your address, Daniel, and then go ahead.
Okay. My name is Daniel Legai. I live at 479 Bank Street, and I wanted to make an adjustment to the Bridgeville Pavilion right off of Station Street. Currently, there's 2 guys that play music at the pavilion, and right now they play twice a week for 5 hours, and it like booms into my apartment, and I think there needs to be adjustments. I used to play music at restaurants all the time, and I would play 3 hours with 2 15-minute breaks, and I wouldn't play more than twice in a month. And I just think there needs to be restrictions. And I think I actually made forms, like sign-up sheets and like band rules. And I think these are I think they're things that could be easily implemented. And, you could put the schedule on the calendar sheet, because I read, the council meeting, you could put, hey, a band's playing here, this, and then the police would know, and then I wouldn't have to contact them because I actually confronted them 3 separate times. I called the police twice. And I guess the council gave them like unlimited, space to do just whatever they want. And like I have a practice space that I pay for, and I can play music as loud as I want, but I don't know. I just don't appreciate everything that's gone on with that. I don't. So I wanted to see if I could get that changed, and yeah.
Yeah, to answer your question, I'm not aware of the complaints, to be quite honest with you, that have been made. And, you know, I think I know who the fella is who's going down there and playing. And typically, we've let people use that park, you know, as they deem fit. But of course, we don't want it to be a burden to the other residents in the area. So let us.
That's one
let us
thing,
take a look
though,
at-
Bill, if he's using that regularly, he's supposed to get a permit.
Okay.
And I'm not sure that he has a permit down there. I've driven by, I've seen the person down there once.
I mean, it's 10 hours. It's 10 hours a week. It's 2 separate days. It's like I only have 2 days between Sunday and Monday before they come back. It's like, well, that's crazy. Like, there's no like space for me to be like, okay. Like, even the one day I made arrangements. I'm like, I'm gonna get out of the house, and I guess they didn't play maybe because it rained or something. And then the next day, like they came back, and it's like, well, I can't leave today. And it's like, you know, there has to be like, come on, man. Like I can't have like, it'd be like someone sitting in front of your house jamming music right into, because it's right across the street.
He lives across the street from me, so he does do that. But let me say this to you. We're going to have our Parks and Recreation Committee take a look at the rules of the park, and if we need to adjust that to address the issue, we will. You know, Joe, why don't you take it into committee and see what the rules stipulate, and if we need to address that in terms of noise and usage and permitting and all that, let's take care of that. Okay.
Okay.
Bill, can I say something? I know Jeff like you do, and I've sat in on some of the sessions. I think 5 hours. I agree with the fella. I think 5 hours is too long. He'd probably be willing to reduce that to 3 hours. I think he plays Tuesdays and Saturdays. I'm not sure. But
Yeah.
I think it'd go along with a compromise like that. The music, the quality of the music's pretty good, I think. But if it's bugging some people, you have to deal with it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Daniel. I appreciate you bringing it to our attention, and we will we'll address it.
Thank you.
Okay. Who else did I see on? I saw John.
Yeah, John
Go ahead.
Schneider.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we
Yeah.
can
Go
hear you.
ahead.
Oh,
John.
okay. John Schneider, 681 Elm Street. Approximately 2 weeks ago, I came out into my yard and found several PennDOT officials. I asked them what they were doing or why they were in my yard, and they were very elusive. But apparently they're going to do something to Chartier Street on my property or adjacent to my property in the very near future. And I don't know what's going on. I can't get any answers from PennDOT. The woman that was in charge that day gave me she was the only one that had a card for me. And she told me to go see my counsel because the counsel would know all about it. And I'd just like some answers as to what's going on. Apparently there's a washed out section of road and they're going to work on it immediately. There are already detour signs on my property. So.
Kevin, are you aware of what they're doing on Chartier Street?
No, I'd have to check into it. I mean, I know PennDOT's working in that area, specifically what they're doing on this gentleman's property. I'll have to check into.
Yeah, John, I don't think, I know Joe Reducey came to me and we're not quite sure exactly what they're doing. We know there's some instability on that hillside going up and down there, assuming that's what they're doing, but we don't know for sure. And I don't believe either Cheryl or Cheryl are aware actually of what the work is that they're being completed. So Kevin, can I ask you to make contact with those guys tomorrow and see what's going on?
Yes, definitely. We will do that.
Okay. I
All right,
appreciate
Joe.
it.
We'll get back to you with the scope of the project and what's happening.
I appreciate it. And also if they're going to plan on putting the heavy trucks down the bricks of Elm Street, I don't think that would be a good idea. It appears that's what they're going to do because there's road closed detour signs on both ends of Elm Street as though they're going to force the Chartier Street traffic through Elm Street. I don't know for certain, but that's where the signs are located at both ends of Elm Street. So again, I don't know. They haven't told me anything. And I'd like, if you can find out what's going on, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll do. We'll have the engineer reach out to them tomorrow, and again, we'll get the scope of the project and
Yeah,
get it.
another detour, they would have to get permission from the borough
All right, thank you.
to do that. I don't know that that's happened, so we'll check in on that as well.
Whatever it is, it looks like it's going to happen very soon. One of the gentlemen that was there that day implied this was as soon as the contractor was available. Whatever is going to be done will be done. So it looks like very soon.
Okay. We'll contact him tomorrow.
Thank you.
Actually,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I believe that would be nice if they would give the office an agenda of what they're going to do prior to, unless if it's an emergency. That would be wise if the engineer can ask for an agenda for PennDOT to give it to our administrator office, so that way we all know what goes on.
Yep. That's you're going to reach out tomorrow, right, Kev?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Good.
Thank you.
Okay, John. Thanks. Do we have anybody else out there that intends to speak? Anybody else? Okay, we'll move on with the agenda then. I need a motion to approve the June 8th, 2020 regular meeting minutes as submitted.
Nick so moves.
Nick,
Bruce seconds.
No second.
we had a second by Bruce. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. Need a motion to approve the July 2020 bill list.
Bruce so
So,
moved.
second, BJ.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Need a motion to approve the July 17th, 24th, 31st, and August 7th, 2020 payrolls.
Nick so moves.
BJ, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. I need a motion to adopt resolution number 2020-09 of the Borough of Bridgeville as per PennDOT requirements 1.10.14, signs and banners across state highways, designating the intention of Bridgeville Borough to place one banner across State Route 50 to be installed August 3rd, 2020, and removed September 8th, 2020 for Chartiers Valley School District.
Bruce so moved.
Nick seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. By the way, that banner is going to say you're in Colt country, I believe.
Right.
Let's see what I need a motion to adopt resolution number 2020-10 of the Borough of Bridgeville requesting a grant from the blight removal program in the amount of $74,520 and authorizing the appropriate borough officials to sign documents and agreements pertaining to the grant application.
I move.
So we have BJ motions. Do we have a second?
Yeah.
I'm second.
Nino second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Need a motion to authorize partial payment number 4, final from Osiris Enterprises for contract number 19-S1 backwater valve contract, phase 2, in the amount of $10,879.50 as reviewed and recommended by the borough engineer.
So moved. Bruce.
Second, Nick.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. I need a motion to authorize to advertise for bids for the backwater valve project phase 3.
So moved, BJ.
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Hey, Bill. I'm gonna abstain from that because a couple of our properties are on the list for that. So I'm abstaining from voting for that reason.
Okay. Note the record that Bruce Gallarducci has abstained from voting on this. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. I need a motion to accept the bids received from the McLaughlin Run Park Improvements Phase 2 rebid and award the base bid and alternate number 2 to the low bidder, Sky Ready Site Development and Paving Company Incorporated, in the amount of $408,317.02 and $9,765.52 respectively, for a total contract value of $418,082.54, subject to obtaining the required documents and review and approval of same by the borough engineer and borough solicitor.
So moved.
So moved, Nino.
So Joe Colosimo moved. Who do I have? Second?
Nino.
Nino second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. I need a motion of the Borough Council regarding the following real estate tax refunds due to changes in assessments as requested by the real estate tax collector. Copies of the official change orders have been attached to the request. Year 2019, lot and block 255-N-44, the amount of $160.55 to Stephen and Aaron Musiano, 1034 Cork Drive, Bethel Park, PA 15102. Do I have a motion?
I motion Bill, BJ.
Bruce, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We have an item on the agenda, number 10, a motion to appoint someone for the Planning Commission. That is there is an empty slot there.
I make a motion, if you will, Mr. Chairman, nominating Kayla Lawrence for to the Planning Commission.
I'd like to
A letter and resume for,
motion to table this and create a committee to do proper interviews of each individual that applied, please.
Okay, so we will take care of two motions. Let's take care of the first motion.
Right.
Do I have a second on the first motion?
I second that, Bill.
We have a second. All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President. Once the motion is made and second, and then a motion to table is presented, I believe that motion to table comes up for consideration.
So before we vote, we honor the motion to table?
Yes,
Okay.
Okay,
just
so
by parliamentary procedure, yes.
no, I appreciate that. So the second motion on the floor is to table this. And as Councilman Shiselski said, he requested that the candidates be interviewed.
I have
So-
a remark on that.
Pardon me?
I like the remark on that.
Okay.
I-
If I might, I'm sorry to be a parliamentarian. The motion to table itself requires a second before it's
Okay,
discussed or acted
I haven't
upon.
heard the second yet.
So do we have a second on Nick's motion?
Yeah, I will second that, Bill, because I think it's a good idea.
Can we take a vote on that, or we have discussion now, Tom?
Well, I'll second the motion for Nick.
I don't believe the motion to table is subject to discussion. It's just up or down vote.
Okay, so all in favor of the motion to table?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes to table, and we will get a group of folks together that will conduct the interviews and get those set up between now and the next meeting. So we'll have an opportunity to take care of this at the next meeting. Okay, need a motion to accept and pay any commission due to the June 2020 real estate tax collector report.
Bruce, so moved.
I'll second it, BJ.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Need a motion to accept the May 2020 Treasurers Report.
So motion, Nick.
Bruce seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. I need a motion to accept the June 2020 Police Report.
Bruce, so moved.
Nick seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, let's move on to committee reports. Administration. Virginia Schneider.
Thanks, Bill. I don't really have much to report. I just want to mention that next month's meeting, we will consider what's going on with the COVID-19 restrictions in Allegheny County. So we'll let you know, when it gets closer to that time, whether or not we're going to try to do the face-to-face meeting at the council chambers or if we'll continue with Zoom.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you,
all I
BJ.
have.
Yeah, it's, I can make a comment that I think we all are anxious to get back to some sense of normalcy, but I think we need to be prudent and make sure that everybody's safe before we do that. So
Right.
let's hope that these next few weeks, we see a turn in the right direction. Finance, Joe Verducci's not here. He did leave me with a couple of points I'd like to read. Let's see. Joe would like to have a finance committee meeting in the next week or two. I'd like to review the earned income tax and budget reports at the meeting to discuss where we're going the next 6 months. He'd asked Cheryl if you could please forward those reports to the committee, and the committee can prepare to have a meeting to discuss those.
Okay.
He'd also like to remind the Bridgeville residents that the 2020 census is still being done. He enforces, please, please, please take a few minutes and be counted. Answering the 2020 census is easy, safe, and important. He says, and to answer online, do it at www.2020census.gov or by phone at 844-330-2020. The census is to shape the future of our Bridgeville community, and these numbers will make a difference in the support the borough receives from the state and federal governments. So please heed Joe's warning and follow through with the census surveys that you're getting. Last but not least, he says the Southwest Communities Chamber of Commerce is moving forward with their annual car raffle. They have moved the pulling of the ticket from July to September 30th at 5 p.m. at the rail yard. Please go to the Chamber's website to purchase tickets or call their office to make arrangements to get tickets. And that's it from Joe. Second Joe, Colosimo, Parks and Recreation.
Thanks, Bill. I've been going through the parks pretty often, and the restrooms guys are keeping them clean. The signage is still up as far as the COVID business goes. I sort of have a question for Kevin, if you can hear me. We've got the McLaughlin Park renovations coming up, the phase 2's coming up. It also seems like lowering the ball field and the trash rack in the creek, that's sort of in the pipeline also. But I'm wondering if we do the parks project, say, get that going, do all the paving or whatnot, I'm concerned like lowering the ball field is going to entail using heavy equipment, like maybe some pans, whatnot like that. And that would, looking at the park, there's no way really to make like an access road off to the side. And I'm wondering, are these projects come together at the same time, or we have any idea of the timing on this?
Yeah, we're just waiting on the county to send their contract for you to sign your agreement for the one you have the grant on. The project's ready to go to bid. All your permits are now in hand. As soon as it comes, we'll put out the notice for the WB, MBE, and get that project opened as shortest time frame as possible. And we're going to put the earthwork has to be completed in the first 30 days so that they can get that done late summer, early fall, and then the paving can follow right behind that. So, so yes, we do realize they need to mesh together. So.
Okay, I mean, you run heavy equipment over parking lot. Generally, that asphalt's not that thick. And I don't think it could be too pretty. So hopefully we can work that out. But that's all I have.
Yep, it's an excellent point.
Any questions for Joe? Okay, let's move on to Public Works. Nino.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Cutting grass in parks and et cetera, to the road programs that we have. Public work, I would say. Clean up the litter and empty trash receptacle. Fill pothole, Pennsylvania one call, repair catch base. Remove tree, not the one on Craig Street. Branch and debris in the parks. Asphalt, borrow, roadway, and alleys. We done about 1, 2, 3, 4 alleys. And the people, they are very, very happy the way the job was done. They did absolutely a wonderful job, those guys. And we service the police cars and maintenance and repair tractor, et cetera, all our equipment. They were all put up to speed. I have a remark, but I'll save that for later. Thank you.
Okay, any questions for Nino on Public Works? All right, thank you, Nino. Public Safety, Bruce Gallarducci.
Yeah, Bill, I have, for civil service on July 1st, we had 6 applicants for police positions. We had 5 people show up, and out of the 5 people, 1 didn't pass the written test. We're moving forward now with the oral test will be on July 20th of the 4 remaining. And we should have a recommendation for council by the August meeting moving forward. So that's all I have at this time.
Great, any questions for Public Safety? All right, thanks, Bruce. Mayor Betty Copeland.
Thank you, Mr. President. I extended our sympathy to Bob Eccles on the passing of his beloved wife, Kim, and at a later date, they will be coming to Bridgeville and have a memorial service at which time we'll be able to express more of our sympathy to him and his family. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Police Chief Chad King. Is he still here? Yeah, you're still muted, Chad.
All right, sorry about that. I'm good.
There you
now.
go.
Had some technical difficulties. Just to echo what Councilman Gallarducci said, my goal was to be ready by the August council meeting to recommend an officer for full-time position and a part-time position. So we should be right on schedule to do that. And that's my hopes. That's all I have.
Thanks, Chief. Solicitor Tom McDermott.
Yes, Mr. President, members of the council, and Madam Mayor, you have my written report. I don't have anything to add to that unless you have any questions.
Any questions of the solicitor? Okay, Borough Engineer Kevin Brett.
Yes, I too sent in our written report dated July 8th and have nothing additional. It hasn't had action taken on it tonight. I can answer any questions.
Any questions of the engineer? Okay, Fire Chief Ray Costain. Ray, you're muted, bud.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Total call volume for the month of June was 32 calls. We do have a business, actually a mixed use. There's business and residential in the property. that we have area of concern. I spoke to Mr. Henderson about this. We were there again this weekend for a total of 6 calls. Do you want me to disclose any of that information, or do we want to talk about this at a different point? I'm not sure how you want me to handle that, but there's definitely some concerns that we have with this property.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, why don't we get with public safety and disclose what you brought to my attention, and then we'll move from there.
Okay, and also, if I may ask Tom, can you define the rules and regulations for the nuisance alarm policy that we have, and what is the steps for enforcement of that?
Not chapter and verse off the top of my head, Ray, but I'm happy to look it up. If you want to give me a call tomorrow, we can talk through what you need, what the requirements are and whatever the scenario is to trigger inspection, enforcement, etc.
Excellent, sir.
Thanks.
All right, continuing on, as you're all well aware, we did have a structure fire in the borough on Saturday. It went very well from a response standpoint, and we did sustain some damage, some heat-related damage to the ladder truck. We did park just prior to the fire, the building that was on fire, but we did sustain some damage. I reached out to Cheryl Glowwork today so we can get with the insurance company and discuss that. As far as the ladder truck, though, it's nothing in the way of us needing to take it out of service or anything like that. It's more or less cosmetic, so it's still in service. I received notification from the county on Friday, late Friday afternoon, that the Bridgeville Volunteer Fire Department will be receiving a $25,000 COVID grant, which was excellent news for us to hear. As you're all well aware, our fundraising efforts have pretty much been non-existent due to the regulations. So this money coming in is definitely at the right time. I do believe that's all that I have, Council President.
Thanks, Chief. And again, I'd like to commend your department for the response and keeping neighboring properties safe down there and doing so safely without anybody getting injured. So congratulations on your response and a nice job. Appreciate it.
We thank you.
Yeah. Southbridge EMS. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Ray, I'll get with you. We'll set up a meeting for public safety, and then we can discuss the issue. I think I know what you're talking about, but as far as the nuisance call on that, so we'll get together and then we can work through that with Tom.
Excellent. It's definitely an area of concern, so I look forward to this meeting.
Okay.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank you.
Southbridge EMS, Dan Miller.
Thank you, Mr. President. Basically stating the obvious that COVID is back in town. We are seeing a resurgence of patients who are actually testing positive this time. Seems like the first time we had it, we had a lot of suspicious cases, but never seemed to have anybody who really tested positive that we knew about. So we had a kind of a dry run for what we're having now. And we're having the same basic issues. Our call volume is down, but we're seeing more sick patients. We have had positive patients. We've had multiple positive patients. So, stress that everybody be careful out there because it is back in town. That's all I have.
Yeah, thanks, Dan, and continue to stay safe. Has your department stayed safe?
So far, we have had nobody who we've had to quarantine or, have tested positive to this point.
All right, thanks. That's to all the first responders out there. Please be careful. I don't see Mary Wise on Bridgeville Historical Society. Anybody from the Historical Society? No. Okay. Bridgeville Library. Anybody from the library? How about the Parking Authority? Anyone from parking? Okay, Planning Commission. I did see Dale on. Dale, you have anything?
No, Mr. President. We're just continuing our discussions about topics for planning and trying to move forward with some of the issues that we've identified. So,
Well, we appreciate the process you guys are going through and look forward to hearing your recommendations, Dale.
thank you.
How about under old business? We have any old business to discuss?
Mr. Chairman, before of that, I believe that it's very important that I say this. Now, we're going to interview the applicant for planning commission that what we agree and pass the motion. We have 3 applicants. Are we receiving more application? That's important. Haven't been put on the motion. If more application would be receiving, that we reject it, or the advertise is still on. If the advertise is not on, there'll be a rumor, and then somebody else will apply. So something gotta, in my opinion, we gotta put a deadline there, or say we have 3 applicants. That's it at this point. But if we do the meeting at the August, if we do it tomorrow, I would advise that we have the 3 applicants come in for interview at 6:30 or on the regular meeting, one way or the other. Other than have a special committee and then we have to come back to council for recommendation, and we could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So something that we can think about it, how we're going to proceed over here, because the COVID but et cetera, et cetera. I think it's very important that we clarify what we're going to do.
So
In
let's
my opinion.
on
It's okay.
On the first part of your thing, let's, Cheryl, I know the announcement has been on both of our sites. Let's go ahead and put a stop date a week from today. We'll say July 20th as we will close for new applicants. Is that fair?
I think it would be fair to the 3 applicants.
Yeah. So let's disclose, the closing of the, of the request for applicants, 7/20, Cheryl. Go ahead and put that
Okay.
on both of the websites. And then from there, Nino, we'll have to look and see what it looks like in terms of a live meeting.
Sure.
If we're going to be able to do that, I think it makes sense to do what you're asking. And if not, then I think we need an alternative, whether we do it like this.
We can do it on a Zoom at 6:30.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm thinking. There's something
Okay.
to keep in mind, Mr. Chairman.
Yep. I appreciate the comment.
Thank you.
Anything else?
That's all, sir.
Okay. Anything else under old business? And how about new business? Any new business? Okay. With that, I'll
Make a motion.
Bruce makes a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Hello? Goodbye. Yes.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate
Thank
your patience through these processes.
Everybody?
Good night, folks.
Was that Nina that seconded?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Okay. Good
Thanks,
night, all.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Welcome.
See y'all. Thank you.